Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. We are in 2026, and we are hoping that this year is going to be a little bit different than last year. Anyways, welcome to this YouTube channel, and today I want us to talk about what's happening in the village. Not necessarily my village, not necessarily where I come from, but what's happening in a village called Nyabohanse. Apparently, our dude by the name Aya Maro seems to be a little bit lonely. And there's a song that has actually been released in relation to I Am Marwa. I mean, that song is a little bit crazy, but it depicts the reality behind what's happening with that guy.
And I miss her so much. Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own. Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody. I'm Mr. Lonely. My fake wife left with Toto. Mr. Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own. I'm Mr. Lonely and I miss Mitoto so much. This house feels empty and the silence is loud. My Mitoto, come back to Papa Goat Matata.
Sadly, racist people call her racist. People, other people call her racist or something like that. She seems to be having a little bit more fun while taking his family in Spain. They're actually in Madrid, and before they went to Madrid, they were in Qatar. And one of the biggest lessons I'm learning from that is that as a person, as a son, as a daughter, there's a way you need to treat your parents. The way Ayamaro has always been treating his parents, the way he has been speaking ill of his parents, you don't hear that with Rocio. Rocio never speaks ill of his parents. She never speaks ill of her sisters. She never speaks ill of anybody related to her. She never speaks ill of her country. But now we have this guy by the name Ayamaro. He's always speaking ill about my employees, this and this and this, my parents, this and this and this, and especially his dad. We all know that Ayamaro and his dad, they don't really get along so well. They don't really get along so well. So you might at times want to sympathize and empathize with him, but on the other hand, when you compare him and Rocio and the way they relate with their parents and their community, it's different. We have Ayamara showcasing the illnesses of this community. Instead of him speaking positively about our country, we have um, he seems to be a little bit in a position where instead of empowering Rocio to speak positively, even in Spanish, about our country, Kenya, she speaks ill about her surrounding when she's in the village. But now she looks so vibrant, by the way, when she's having her things in Spain. And you guys, you remember that before she even went, before they flew with the family, they had one more trip to Masai Mara. And that trip, our guy had to borrow money. Whereas all along, Roro Baby had money. She had saved money. She needed money so that her family must have fun. Her dad, Mr. Luis, her mom, and her two sisters, they had to have fun. Remember these people? Rocio is the one who booked the apartments in Mlolongo. She's the one who booked. And she made sure she's booking class. She made sure that her parents and her sisters, or rather her family, is not going to live like poor people, like villagers. She made sure that they are going to live a first world class lifestyle, even when they travel outside the country. So they went and they stayed in Mlolongo in those apartments, a very nice place. And then after that, people didn't even know that majority of people thought they're taking a direct flight to Argentina. But what happened? Rocio is not dumb here. She's not stupid. They dropped in Qatar. Now we have you're traveling all the way from Africa. You headed to Qatar. Qatar is in Asia. It's in the Arab world, but it's in Asia anyways. And then from Qatar, she's dropped to Spain, and they're in Madrid doing shopping. They are visiting the place, giving her parents the best life possible. And mind you, they've interacted with Ayamaro for less than 2 years, but within those 2 years, she's managed to grow her channel. She's managed to save money to bring her parents all the way to Africa, paid every ticket. And after paying all the tickets, she has now managed to take her family for a vacation, place after place. Mr. Luis, in his age, he's enjoyed things he's never enjoyed ever in the past life. And one of the biggest lessons here you got to learn is, you have to learn how to treat your parents. Marwa is always whining about his dad, the pangaman. There's a video I saw of him complaining that his mom is asking him to give him maize. I mean, the best thing Marwa has done is portraying her mom as this prayer warrior. Like she doesn't need anything else. And yes, I agree. He did a lot of things for his parents. Like he built a house for his parents. But look at the lifestyle that Roro is giving her parents. Look at the experiences that her parents are having, her family members are having, her sisters are having. I mean, as they travel back to Argentina, she's gone through Qatar, Spain, and we don't know what next. Maybe she might even decide she's going to go to another country before she leaves completely, before they decide now we are headed back to Argentina. And then our guy back in the village, he's living in denial. Marwa is still not believing that that could have happened. He keeps on talking about my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, this, my wife, this, my wife, my fruits. One thing he does not understand, you'll not hear, I've not heard Rocio say, my husband, or I miss my husband, I miss Africa, I miss that place. No, she has gone full blast. She's enjoying the moment. Our guy here is a little bit lonely. And this is the craziest thing. Before Rocio left, she made sure that this guy has already broken up with his closest friends. Forget about that land shenanigans. He made sure that Aya Marwa does not have friends. He doesn't have any friends in the village at the moment as we speak. Because his closest allies, who are supposed to be the likes of Nasto, Mayugno, Nikobuda, all those guys, you're not seeing them around there. Now he's been left with his drunkard Uncle Gutu, some few employees, a big villa, horses, and a swamp. That place is full of water at the moment. Well, um, of course, Ayamara has really achieved a lot, but at the same time, when you look at the place and the way it is right now, I mean, it just looks lonely. You remember Akon? Lonely. The guy is so lonely at the moment in the villa, in the villa. And the wife, she's having fun. She's enjoying every single moment of it from Qatar. And by the way, did you guys notice that from Qatar to in Qatar, actually, when she missed the flight, they were taken to a 5-star hotel, and then after the 5-star hotel, they boarded a plane out to Spain, to Madrid. And that Spain, by the way, that plane, she did business class. You could see me Toto was well positioned in a place. I mean, she could easily stretch her feet. She was doing business class. While our guy, he doesn't even do that. He's always crying, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. I mean, you make a lot of money to give it to your wife and the family to have fun. While else, you, your sister, you can't even make connections. You can't, you're always saying, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. Right now, you've hired two farms for your horses. While else, you bought tickets for people to go and have fun. And you're left here struggling. Bro, man, you really embarrassing this race. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. You really embarrassing this race straight up. Um, Now, as I react to this, I've just watched another video. There's a guy who done a song, using it's an animated song. I mean the video the graphics are a little bit animated. So, and the theme of the song is about loneliness. And I don't know if you should go and watch that song. I mean, I'm going to attach a little bit of that song here because this is an analysis video, and I would like to make analysis of everything that's going on. I've also watched a lot of reactors, and by the way, initially I used to think these people are hating on this guy, and then I paid more attention to what they're saying. Turns out they are being honest. They are really doing a lot of analysis on this guy. And since that day, I've never watched that guy with the same mindset again. I usually have a first, second, and third thought when I'm watching. Every word he says, I have to analyze it. Or rather, I have to scrutinize every word he says because he's a guy who has mastered how to speak, by the way. Do not underrate and do not undermine Marwa, even though right now he's a little bit beaten. Do not undermine that guy. He has mastered a way to communicate, knowing that I'm going to say this and this is going to lead to this and this is going to lead to this, but eventually the end goal is shikidi shikide mula, and there's nothing wrong. YouTube does not call that scam. If I can convince you to give me money, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is you do it using lies and using people, which is not fair, to say the least. It's not fair at all. So the reason as to why majority of people, especially um, his cult members, they might find this as reacting negatively to this guy. No, it's not reacting negatively. This guy posts everything. He uploads everything on the YouTube channel, on his YouTube channel. And we are reacting because we see things and we want to, at times it's not even reacting to him, it's like cautioning him because for me, I don't think Rocio has gone and she's not coming back. I believe she's going to come back because there's no way Rocio would have bought land and then just leave it like that, and there's no way Rocio would have done the project. There's a project she did on the villa. You guys remember, if you've been an astute student of Marwa, there's a project she did on the villa, repairing I can't, the wardrobe. No, it's not the wardrobe. What we call it, I keep on forgetting that name, but whatever. But there's a project she did on that thing, and I don't believe she would invest a lot of money on that only for her to not come back. I believe she'll be coming back, but she could be coming back for a different reason. And this could have been one of the biggest mistakes that Ayamaro made because Ayamaro is focusing on the horses breeding instead of him trying to breed for more kids. He keep on saying he wants 10 kids. He would have made sure by the time Roro is leaving, she has one extra. So that maybe he can have a big family. Because from what I'm seeing, watching those videos by Roro in Spain, it's very clear. Rocio is a tangle. She wants the flash life. And Roro looks more like an extravagant girl. She wants the finest thing in life, and there's nothing wrong with that if you can afford it. The problem is she wants to do that at the expense of Marwa. And she has already done it. Trust you me. Connecting Qatar to Madrid, and then could be she's going to another country before she's headed to Argentina. It's a lot of money. We are talking about $30,000 going upwards. Again, anytime she lands in those countries, she's not just landing and staying in the hotel. She's landing with the family. They are going out shopping, eating, and she's not just eating anywhere. She's not going to the streets to identify, this. She's not dining in street food. She's not doing street food. She's actually going to hotels. And the last time I checked, she did a five-star hotel. I don't know where else or what else she'll be doing, but the last time I checked, she did a five-star hotel. So I'm expecting to see more from her. But this should be a lesson to Ayamaro. That's the way you treat your parents when God blesses you with money. When God blesses you with resources, that's how you treat your parents. There's nothing wrong with the village content. There's nothing wrong with staying in the village. Um, um, but once in a while, the village is a place you'll just come, reconnect, avoid the shenanigans in towns. Of course, the town life, the city life, sometimes it's not even sustainable. It's not even that fun because everything you see in towns is something that has been built. Rosie is not ready to come and build the village. She wants a village that is already complete. And that's the task that Ayamara has to. Ayamara, you've been given the responsibility of make sure that everything is set, everything is ready. And this is the craziest thing. Ayamara has a villa there. He has horses there. He has two cars. His mom is just around the corner. His dad is just around the corner. His brother is just around the corner. But he doesn't seem like he's having peace and fun. And that's the price of mistreating people like Max Bryan. And by the way, I feel sad for Max Bryan.
Yeah, I'm still going, I'm still moving. Yeah. To those who have been asking me why I stopped working, I stopped working because my neck has been paining a lot. Yeah, so I had to quit. How to quit the job? Yeah, and take a rest. And today it's my other X-ray results. So today I'm heading to the hospital for more checks. Yeah, I'm going to be checked and so that I know what's going on. Yeah.
You know, Max Bryan, right now, he's not yet fully recovered as much as he got a job in his new place. But I really feel bad for him because, the way he was treated out there, it was very, very unfair. And I thought maybe Rocio would be the one telling Marwa, I mean, the way you're treating some of these employees, it's very, very unfair. Like the way that issue about Max Brown, the way it was handled, it was very uncouth. That's not the way issues should have been handled. They should have been handled differently. But all the same, um, Marwa, you're getting exactly what you deserve. You don't mistreat people and expect things to work out for your favor. It doesn't. Life does not work like that. When you invite people in that villa, understand that these are human beings with emotions, with feelings, and once you start messing up with people's feelings, things are going to backfire for you. Anyways, let's wait and see what's going to happen. Other than that, I'm just hoping that this is going to be different. I'm just hoping that this year is going to be extremely different. We're in 2026. And it's my prayer and my hope that I'll be dropping a new video every day. Some people call it reacting. Whoever is gone negative haters, it's not necessarily hating, but we trying to see if we can advise our guy because we understand and feel that he's lost the way, and we would want him to find back his way. Remember, the travel commando has always had people waiting for his content, but recently that has not been the case. But I will have advice for him on that. So stay tuned for that as well, because there's a lot we're going to have to talk in this video. I want to make sure that by the time I'm done doing this video, at least it's about 2 or 3 hours, um, just reacting to the guy, to everybody in that community, and that's how we're going to start this year. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. We're going to have a blast for this one. Stay tuned, man. No, before I lost track, this video was actually I did not intend to dwell so much on other things, but this video was basically more of Rocio and I am Marwa. And I still want to dig deep on this whole thing. I still want us to understand some of the things that we may not have captured through the video done by Ayamara and the ones that are being done by Rocio. See, there's also another way to look at it. With this Rocio traveling to Spain drama thing, not Spain necessarily when she's going to Argentina. Now, there's also another way to look at these things. All the way, if you've been watching those two people in that relationship for quite some time, there's a way to look at everything here. Okay? Are we together on that? So, in every relationship, the husband has responsibilities and the wife has responsibilities. So apparently, what I've come to realize is that Marwa is more like, your responsibility is to handle stress and everything that is not functioning, is to handle is to make conflicts and handle those conflicts. And me as Rocio, my responsibility is to handle happiness, is to make sure that me, Mitoto, and my family experiences happiness. The responsibility of Rocio is to ensure that she is happy. She, Mitoto, and the two sisters, Mr. Louis and the wife, are happy. But Ayamaro is responsible for making sure that he's colliding with everybody in the village. He's fighting with everybody in the village. He's creating more drama. A lot of shenanigans must go on. He's not supposed to help his village. He's supposed to focus on me, Toto, Rocio, and the family. You see, there's one complaint you'll not hear Rocio complain about. Rocio used to complain that Ayamaro does not have time for her. That Ayamaro is spending too much time doing projects in the village, as he's opposed to be, spending more time with Rocio. But when Rocio's parents come, there's no complaint that Ayamarwa is spending time with Rocio and her family. There's no complaint. You'll not find any complaint about that. Why should Rocio complain about that? Remember this lady, she's from Argentina, and I've read some comments from people saying that she's a racist. That is something I'm going to have to investigate further, do a little more research to identify whether she's a racist or not. She's not. But as of now, assuming she is, there's only one way to explain about that. Now, you do understand that, first of all, Rocio is not, she's not European, she's not white, she's not Mzungu, by the way. A majority of people think that she's Mzungu, she's not. She's Latina. She's Latina, Latino, or whatever. She's, South American. Argentina is in South America, so she's Latina anyways. But I'll give my example using the football team of Argentina. Now, you guys, have you ever seen a black person playing for Argentina? We've had South American countries, we've had Brazil, we have had Colombia, all those countries, Cuba, all those countries. All those countries have a lot of black representatives, black representatives in their teams, whether it comes to boxing, whether it comes to athletics, and even in football. But have you ever seen any black person playing for Argentina? The answer is absolutely no. So research has it, or rumors has it, and it's something you're gonna have to go and Google, because what I learned some years back is that there was one leader who declared that there is no black person who will ever be in the Argentinian parliament. There's no black person. So definitely the black presentation or representation in that country, the representation of black people in Argentina is definitely small. So this is probably something even new to Rocio's family. And of course, you guys, we don't understand Spanish. We can never understand whatever they say. Again, Rocio is not that stupid. She does, unlike these village content creators who love to claim that they're doing raw and unfiltered content, with Rocio it's different. She has to mind what she's saying. Even at times when she acts emotionally, she does that knowing very well that this is what I need to do, this is what my viewers need to see. And she does it with an intention. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rocio becomes a reactor. I would never be surprised, because the way things are, that relationship is being held together by materialism. It's all about material. Um, it's all about what Ayamaro owns. It's not even about her loving Ayamaro. Because you see, Ayamaro, when he started doing content, he was so real with himself, but with time he became fake. Again, I believe Ayamaro married the Argentinian because he wanted to put a stamp on something, like, I can afford to marry a white, a Latina. You guys, can you? Can you? Like, I'm not doing local, I'm going international. Shock on him. Shock on him. You married somebody who doesn't really respect you that much. In any case, I kind of feel like, at times it's like Rocio really despises Ayamara. And that may affect, or could have affected, or is affecting his ego big time. You can obviously tell that this guy is not having that happiness. He's not really, really happy. And that reminds me of a guy in Nakuru. There was a white guy in Nakuru. It was called Lord something. He built a castle in Nakuru. I'll have to Google and check his name, and I'll have to attach um, Lord Egerton. You know, Egerton University, guys. There's an university called Egerton University. There was this guy called Lord Egerton. Lord Egerton built a castle because he was really interested in having a woman, a princess. He wanted to marry a princess. And you see, as a lord, he wanted to make sure that he impresses that princess. What ended up happening is, anytime the princess came back to see the castle, she was not impressed. This guy did everything. He even invited employees. He was buying building materials he was actually importing building materials because he wanted to build a castle for that woman. But shock on him, you will never impress. You can't impress a woman who doesn't want to be impressed. You can't impress her. You see, if a woman wants to be with you, she will just be with you. So I am Marwa, if Rocio really wants to be with you, she wouldn't even care about the staircase. She wouldn't really care about the villa. She wouldn't care about the horses. She will just be want she will just want to be with you. Yes, of course, there's that part, an aspect of growth in the relationship, in the marriage. But the thing that is holding that relationship together is the Land Cruiser, the Mercedes Benz, the villa, the horses, and the donations. It's not you, of course, and not you. And following what we've seen, Rocio Manze, hey, 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 hey. Rocio has really done you dirty, and it's crazy that you can't even see it. And Dimwango even made a comment like, she was just concerned about the mitoto because the kid, at the end of the day, is very innocent in all these shenanigans. And I want to remind you something, guys. For those of you who have been online for quite some time, for those of you who love being entertained, for those of you who have um, been on the online space for a long time, there are a lot of relationships that have gone on and have been broadcasted. There's one celebrity here in Kenya that did a wedding because all that information is online. She's called Akode, a woman who's succeeded in doing everything she needed to do for her kids. She's very successful by today's standards. I mean, like, she has a very good home in the village. Her kids seems to be doing very well. She has a travel company, um, and everything else. Well, there's a time in less than 2 years ago, she did a wedding with a guy. She did not know that the husband or the guy she wedded came from Pakistan. So what ended up happening is they did a wedding, a lavish wedding for the ma. But even after doing that wedding, everything fell apart. Everything, and I mean everything fell apart to a point. I think she may have said that she had some mental issues following the breakup of that thing. And mark you, there are people, notable people in the society who attended that wedding. And you can imagine, even after notable people attended that wedding, imagine how they would have felt stupid having attended a wedding and then these people broke up. So I am Marwa, you're no different. Your relationship is being held not by love. I don't believe it's love that is holding that relationship. And I could be wrong. I'm just reacting. I'm just giving my opinion. I could be 100% wrong. Do not take anything I say as gospel. This is purely entertainment and purely analysis. Do not take it as gospel. I'm just trying to do my own research and analyzing the whole situation based on how I see things. So do not take this as gospel. So what I think, what lured Rocio into you is the fact that once she started doing research about you, she realized that you could be so exposed, and definitely you have a huge following on YouTube. Honestly, 500 plus subscribers is no joke. And then after you having a huge following, you know how to make money, you know how to sweet talk your subscribers, and they know how to give you money, donations after donations, big money, a lot of money for that man. And I believe that could be what enticed her because remember, Rocio wanted to travel the world. And by the way, as I say this, I doubt if Rocio is interested in maybe having another kid. I don't see it because she wants to travel. She wants to travel. All she cares about is Mitoto, her sisters, and her parents, her family. She doesn't care about you, Marwa. She doesn't care about your family. She doesn't care about Dimwango. She doesn't care about David Jr. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about the village. She doesn't care about Kenyans in the village. She doesn't care. And you guys, by the way, as I say this, you know, I kind of think like some of you might be so stuck to, and that's why people think of Marwa's followers sometimes as being cult members. I kind of think like, some of you might be so stuck in that to a point where you fail to see the other side of that relationship, because Marwa is not the first person to marry outside internationally. We've had so many people marrying, so many celebrities or so many known figures marrying outside of their comfort zone, or rather outside their country. For instance, there's a guy by the name, and I like that couple. There's a guy by the name called George. George, he's from Meru, and the wife is called Lemiri Mackenzie. If you've been on YouTube, that's why I'm saying if you've been on YouTube for quite some time, you'll easily understand how I'm connecting all these stories, one story with another. So, Mackenzie, Lemiri Mackenzie has got three kids with George. Again, George is a village dude, but George is so authentic. I mean, he doesn't have to fake anything. He's just himself. He doesn't have to fake anything. You can be a villager, but you're not faking anything. You're just being authentic. You're just being yourself. So the wife is American, uh, and they got married. The wife, I guess, right now the wife is probably that 4 years old. They have got three kids. George is actually 40 years old. But the way they seem to be working is very, very healthy. It's even healthy for their business. And mark you, they have established a quite number of businesses. As we are speaking, they have a coffee business. We have Limeri Coffees. We have Limeri Travel Agency. They have an apartment in Nairobi, the same place where Rocio booked. They have an apartment in Mulolongo, rather. They have businesses here and there. So as we are speaking, George is in the village. The wife and the kids, they're in the United States of America, and I believe they might be coming soon. But the way she makes her content, it's so authentic, and it's not even meant to be as anyone. And we've seen Mackenzie invite her family members. We've seen the mom come visit them. We've seen the sisters come to visit him. To visit them. But we don't witness the kind of stupidity and nonsense that has been going on with the Marwas. And I'm gonna excuse Marwas because it's a young couple. Um, they've just had their first son, their firstborn. Of course, at least I understand that at times when women um have a child, give birth to a child, there is that prenatal depression or something like that. Like, I hear or I've studied that at times a woman is likely to experience some type of depression after giving birth. Maybe like 3 months to 5 months in between. I have no idea. You'll have to go and do research on that. That's what I'm saying. Do not take everything I'm saying as gospel. You have to sieve everything that I say. Whatever is stupid, or if you feel like there are things that I say that are stupid, you just let it be. But anything I speak that makes sense here, take it. So anyway, you guys might need to go and watch the Lemiris, and then you compare to what we are seeing here. Here there's a lot of drama. A lot of drama is good for content because you're giving people what they want. People want entertainment, by the way. And one of the reasons as to why people love those guys who are reacting negatively is because they bring in drama. Now, drama brings in traffic. Traffic brings in views, and views brings in money. At the end of the day, it's a game. Everybody is here to get something out of YouTube. And Marwa, you showed people that YouTube is a big thing. It can give you money. Rocio has taken it, and the others have also taken it. And people identified also another niche, like they can react to your videos, and once they react to your videos, they can also get something out of it. So anyway, that's not where I am. We are still talking about I am Marwa and what's going on. So moving forward, what do I think I am Marwa should do? Because I don't even think they are taking that travel business that seriously. Because you see, I am Marwa. If I were you, this is what I would do. And luckily, you have a partner. I would start. I would stop forcing Nyabohanse to become a final destination for travelers. You don't have to. I am Marwa. You got money. I am Marwa. You can buy land in places that you know for sure. Those are destinations where employees can. I mean, where tourists can come and enjoy. I mean, even the river you keep on talking about, it's just a stream. That's not even a river. That's just a stream. We don't have falls. I wish there were falls. I wish there were like a basin. I wish there was something like, natural that would entice tourists to come and visit the village. And again, to make matters worse, instead of you guys trying to promote that village as a village that is so cohesive, that integrates well with visitors, you people have destroyed the reputation of that village. The kind of shenanigans we are seeing in that village is not the kind of things we see in the Maasai's community, and that's why the Maasai's are well known outside. I am Mara, you'd have used your influence and your power to popularize the Korean community, and perhaps you would have been receiving guests coming to visit Africa, and they decide, you know what, we have to stop by the Korean community. We've been promoting, people would not only know about the Maasai's, the Ma community of Kenya, they would also know about the Korean community of Kenya. So, what is next for you, Maro? I would expect that maybe you might rethink about um, buying more land in Nyabohanse. Maybe in 2026, you might decide, you know what? By June, I should have bought enough land in Nyabohanse and then focus on buying pieces of land in other places like Nanyuki, which is placed in Laikipia. Again, in Nanyuki, we have so many people with horses, which means it's very easy for you to have a horse community. There's a video I saw you do and you claim that the horse community is very small. Now, with that small community, in Nanyuki, you have so many people who own horses, and majority of them, by the way, in Laikipia, we have a lot of white settlers. Those are people who understand this horse game. They have been doing it for quite some time. In Nyambuhansa, we have limitations, a lot of limitations. Like, we don't have vets. The environment there is not so conducive for the horses. So, what I would expect from you in 2026 is to see at least one or two or three changes from the way you do your game. Because the way you used to do that game, initially you were dope. When you started doing things in Colombia, you were dope. You did pretty good stuff. But now you've diluted your content to a lot of shenanigans in the village for views. And gladly, at times you do get those views, at times you don't. But when you don't get those views, I think it makes you mental and you go psycho. And that's what is messing up your brand. Because the last time I checked, we are telling you are asking people to at least give you some some subscriptions. Your 20,000 K, is it 20K subscriber short, and for you to hit 600, and we would have loved to see you succeed, man. But let's wait and see. Other than that, we are always going to be seated here reacting and making videos. Let's wait and see. It's 2026. We want to see how things are going to fall out moving forward. Other than that, I am around. There's no bad blood. We are not like wishing you the worst. We wish you all the best, and may success come on your way. Hmm. Well, now, in the same spirit of what next for Marwa, I kind of think we can also, there's every company undergoes a process or a strategy we call rebranding. No, I am already, you've been doing YouTube for quite some time. I mean, 10 years on YouTube is not a joke. And so far, you've done a very good job for yourself when it comes to doing YouTube. Give me a minute, please, guys. It's raining here. It's really raining here, and I need to pick up something outside. So, in the spirit of what next for Marwa, I kind of believe that Marwa has a lot to do. He has a lot to gain, or is not lost. If you really want to succeed using his influence, there's a lot to do. One of his nickname is the Travel Commando of Africa. Now, being a travel commando is not an easy thing to do. Now, Ayamaru, you're one of the persons I've seen with such a huge following, yet you do not have sponsors. You do not have brands that are sponsoring you. Like, for instance, there's a company that brought your horses here in Africa. Now, what if, Orion, I'm just saying, what if there's a way you collaborated with the company in a way that at least out of all the horses that you are bringing, at least one horse is brought for free in an exchange for advertising their business. Like we do know that there are a lot of people who are importing horses in the country and other countries within Africa. And I understand that's the company that has been importing horses um, from different parts of the continent. What if you partnered What if you partnered with that company? You already bought a Land Cruiser. What if you partnered with Land Cruiser, with the company? Because we all know that most of the cars that are used with the tourists are Land Cruisers here in Kenya. What if you partnered with them? And I remember when Goko's house was being built, you brought in a brand manager. There's a guy you brought in and he was supposed to be managing your brand, and that's the time you started saying that you would not do any more shout outs. But later on, we do not know what happened to that brand manager. That guy was supposed to possibly be the one. You were not supposed to be on foot. Actually, you would have easily traveled with the Rocio and the family. Right now, as we are speaking, you would have easily traveled with them if you had employees, professional employees, a person who is managing your brand, a person who is doing all those things. I'll give you a little bit illustration here. You see, somebody like Wodemaya, even as he's traveling today, he travels with a team. He has cameramen, he has people who are editing his videos. Yours are raw and unfiltered. It's a niche you identified for yourself, which is great. But even the biggest companies, they undergo change. They even go under change of the management. Think about the fashion brands. Think a big group like the Caring Group. The Caring Group owns big brands like Balenciaga, Alexander McQueen, Chanel, etc. But every year we have these companies doing advertisement. We have these companies bringing in new brands. Why? Because for you to sustain the customers, you must do something called brand imaging. I am Maro. This is my advice to you, brother. We do not want to see you fail, but I'm gonna tell you, moving forward, you might rethink your brand. You might even have to do something we call, you know, collaborating. Stop the need to become so bossy. You are at a point where you do not need to become a boss. You need to sit back. Look at big brands like Bonfire. Bonfire was a big brand even before the likes of Kabiwa Jesus came into the picture. But what happened? Kabiwa Jesus became in as a brand ambassador for that company. And what ended up happening is that company became a solid thing. They even pulled a stunt at one point where um, the ex-wife to Kabu, she was gifted a range. They pulled a very solid stunt that helped to promote their business. I am Marwa, the things you do at times is just foolishness, is stupidity, is because you lack wisdom. And you lack people who are going to tell you the truth, which makes you start playing around with your brand. And you're not supposed to be playing around with your brand. Your brand is everything. Your brand is your identity. I am Marwa. So moving forward in 2026, what do we expect to see from you? We expect to see you pull out very deliberate, well calculated moves that are going to push you. Giving a shout out, there's nothing wrong with it. But even partnering, there's nothing wrong with it. I am Marwa. I don't know if I had it right, but with your one, sorry for that. For you have one of your eyes has had a lot of issues in the past, and sorry about that. But even with that said, what if you partner with a company that does eye surgeries? You're a huge brand. I am Mario. You can turn every single pain that you've gone through. You can turn every challenge that you've gone through. You know, even right now with that horse, let it be a lesson to you. So that in future, in 10 years' time from now, you could be telling people who want to own horses, you'll be advising them, you'll be telling them this is what you need to do. But again, I am Maro, you need to work with professionals. Drop that village mentality. And that's what Rocio has shown you once, right now that she's traveling from country to country. There's nothing wrong with the village, but the mentality that you have to stick with that village mentality, it becomes archaic. Your current viewer does not need that. Your current viewer needs something else. So you have to drop that and rethink about your brand. Clean your brand. Have people who are fighting for your brand. Apparently, there's only one reactor who I've seen trying to, speak positively about your brand. There's a lady by the name Marwa. That lady comes strong for you. Your brand is everything. You destroy your image, you destroy your reputation. Your reputation is everything when it comes to, YouTube and everything. It's everything. That's why you feed. Even the people who give you donations, they give you donations because there's a way they perceive you, there's a way they see you. If they start seeing you differently, if they change the way they see you, forget about it. You have to play this game like a smart guy. You've always been smart anyway. The fact that you managed to convince a lot of people to help you and you collected a lot of money for that matter, it's a big thing. It's a huge thing. Man, it's a big thing. But moving forward, what do we expect you to do? Right now, with your travel company, I would expect something different. We have you have so many people who you can easily work with as ambassadors. Yeah, there are guys you can easily work with as ambassadors. We have the likes of Kizo, Daniel, and all these people. Those guys, they have a following. And as much as 80 to 90% of their subscribers came from you, they can be very, very vital to promote your business. And there's something we call packages. Masai Mara is not the only package you're supposed to have. People visiting the village is not the only package you're supposed to have. There's a lot. There are places you can visit in this country. There are places people can visit. There are packages. Even road trips is a package. It's a package. People can live in Nyabohanse, assuming that you have an apartment you've bought in Mlolongo. And there's a reason as to why you should buy an apartment in Mlolongo. It's very close to the airport. So if somebody is leaving the airport, once they land, even if they land at night, they can easily take a cab. And you could even have cabs that are transporting your visitors from the airport to the apartment. From the apartment, you have your cars ready to the village for the village tour. And then in the village, they have accommodation. And of course, we have an airport in Kisumu. So traveling can become very, very easy. There are things that if you were to sit down and avoid this village shenaniganism, you can change your brand for better. And I'm hoping to see a lot of changes on that as well in the year 2026. And I wish you could listen to people who are giving you solid advice. They're not misleading you. They care about you as much. We have to give you whips. You need whips, proper whips, whips, because of the way you do things sometimes. But other than that, we're expecting to see proper and matured changes that are going to help you in rebranding your company and making Marwa's brand go international. I mean, what I would also want to see is, Rocio do things in Argentina. She is Spanish. 90% of her subscribers are from you. But she should be wooing the Argentinian audience into visiting Kenya. She should be marketing the Marwa brand in Argentina. Because you see, the thing is, there's a partnership between you. With the horses, you have a partner. But again, with the travel company, I believe your wife, Rocio, is a partner in it. There's a way you're supposed to sell. And you have a very huge following internationally and locally. Locally, would expect to see people booking and booking and booking with your company. What's up, bro? You're sitting on a gold mine and you don't even know it. You think 20,000 views is what you're supposed to be getting? No. Bro, you're sitting on a gold mine. You're one of the people who should have easily pushed Kenya to new, levels. But you ain't, bro. And I don't know why. And you should. And if you don't, another YouTuber will come and make that move, bro. Listen to people who really care about you, even though they seem as if they're hating on you. Listen to them, please. Lastly, my final advice would be make amends with Nico Buddha, Mayugno, and any other protege that you've made through YouTube. Every other guy, you feel you may have had a rough time in 2025. All those guys, you were building a village together. You wanted to build a YouTube community with them. I think it would be the highest time and the best time, now that you are just alone, you and your thoughts, to rethink about building those bridges, mending those bridges, you making up and being the mature one, being the big boss. Uh, Enmity in that village is not going to take you anywhere. So I would highly recommend you have a sit down, talk, solve the problem, and continue building a village together as a community. At the end of the day, Rocio has taught you, Rocio has shown you, she's not ready to make enemies out of nothing. She's not going to her community to make enemies. She's not going there to, you know, she's not fighting her sister, she's not fighting her parents. Maybe it's a learning lesson that you also need to make charge and do something about it. Let there be no enmity in that village. Let there be peace. Let there be love. Let there be unity. Build your community. Let YouTube keep on changing the community for better and not for worse. With that in mind, I would also highly recommend that. I don't know how you're going to do study, but you can listen to podcasts. You can listen to books, audiobooks, learn about leadership and conflict management, emotional intelligence, and those traits are going to get you far, brother. Other than that, Happy New Year. Wishing you success in 2026. Adios.